Alright, we're gonna get started in just a minute. Just gonna tweet out that we're doing the stream. Alright, can you guys let me know in the chat if the stream's clear and whatever, if you guys could see if there's a lag or anything, because I was having a little bit of internet issues before. Just want to make sure that everything's okay on your guys' end. So just let me know in the chat. Blurry. Seems clear. Seems good. Okay. Alright, fine. If anything happens, then it might cut off the stream, but then I'll just start a new one and I'll change the Wi-Fi. Okay, so we're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. Just waiting for a couple of more people to join. All right. So start off by just talking about, just going through the meme stock watch update from last night, and then just showing you guys how that can be applied to your trading. So let's see if I can find the GME update real quick. Wow. Okay. Here was the report from yesterday. So GME's VOX is trending higher, and VOX trend is starting to turn higher as well. So let's take a look at VOX for a couple of minutes, and this might help a lot of you guys be able to read the reports better, as you'll be able to learn essentially like what things mean. So VOX, this pink line up here, shows basically how do I say it? I guess you could narrow it down to stability and instability in price. And so when VOX is above this upper black line, then that means VOX is in the inhibition zone, and it's bullish until proven otherwise. BUPO, bullish until proven otherwise. The otherwise is when VOX moves back down into the stability zone, which is this middle area. When that happens, normally price is followed by, we're followed by downside. So you guys can see here, VOX moved into the inhibition zone, followed by a sharp rise in price as expected. And then only when VOX moves back down into stability, GME, takes quite the tumble. This bottom part is propagation zone. When VOX is in the propagation zone, that's really bearish. It means that the stock's extremely unstable and only to expect bearish price action. However, once VOX moved back up, price action followed. It's a great macro indicator, but it shouldn't be taken too much day to day, but it's excellent for, judging the trend, judging the macro. So, past couple of days, GME VOX, you guys could see how it almost fell right into the stability zone. But right before it did, VOX picked back up, and now VOX trend, which is this gold line, which is basically VOX moving average, also is turning higher. All of those things are bullish. Before the sneeze, VOX was in the inhibition zone for quite a while, but in general, VOX remaining in the inhibition zone for so long shows a whole lot of instability in price, but for now, VOX is BUPO, bullish until proven otherwise. All snap graphs are bullish for the third day in a row, so the snap graphs, which we have right here, the crosshairs above the gold line is bullish, and they're all indicating bullish price action to come, which we've been expecting for a while. The heat map showed significant purchasing support. So this is what I was trying to tell everybody in last night's update. Like, we just moved from 23 to 25 in pretty much a straight line. Where was it? Here. Now look at this move from 22.97, where of course that was our dip buy from the beginning. As you guys know, all the way back from here, we were calling for 22.97. We tried to buy 25 as well. That didn't work out. But we pretty much Gavin at least pretty much nailed this entire move down, including the move higher. So Price made a huge move higher. Retracement was normal. You know, you guys all are very familiar with the $25 level. That's a tough level, guys. Not going to be easy to get through that, and especially before, you know, coming down a bit, pick up some more buyers. A lot of buyers aren't going to get in at key levels, and that's where sellers are going to start selling. So price is going to have to come down a bit to pick up some buyers before trying to push above that $25 level as well. So I was trying to show the incredible amount of purchasing support below, which shows that if price dips down today at any point, you can expect it to get bought back up, because as price moves down, due to the dealer positioning in the options matrix, dealers will be forced to purchase shares to hedge their positions. It's quite simple. And so when price dipped down this morning, right here, it moved into that nice purchasing support area that we had. Let me go back, show you guys. I like to do this just to help you visualize it. So we'll do this. Oh, okay, let's go to a different chart. I don't know how much I want to show you guys. All right, we'll go to, let's find something where we can do this. Really old chart. I don't even know what's going to be on here. All right, bear with me a second. Okay. So, all right. Basically, once you have, you know, the hedging heat map, which, you know, we post every single night on Meme Stock Watch for all the stocks that we cover. Once you have that on your hands, where was that? Here, you can see, obviously, you know, it's not scaled accurately because that's really hard to do. But if we just put the blue purchasing support, where price dipped down this morning, you know, 24.50, for example, you guys can see that price moved down right into this nice purchasing support, and of course it got bought back up. And that was pretty simple. So yes, you know, I did buy the dip this morning. I thought that was pretty obvious, as we knew already the night before that that, you know, there's purchasing support. MC Sports Server says I was waiting for 24.38 and it never came. So I heard that it got pretty close, you know, 24.54. So when I'm so bullish for more upside, that's the thing. It's hard. You can't really penny pinch. Like, could it have gotten to 24.38? Absolutely. But if we knew the bounce was coming there either way, as soon as it even got close, that was just, for me, it was such a beautiful dip buying opportunity that I just had to start. Obviously, I would have even added more if we got down to 24.38, but I'm not going to be greedy and wait for 20 extra pennies when IV is super low anyway, and when I know that there's purchasing support here. So let's move on down the report. The heat map shows that the selling pressure above has now moved to the $26 range, which can now allow for price to move above 25. But keep in mind, 25 will act as an anchor to price until price can sustain above for a considerable amount of time. A retest an hourly close above 24.38 would not surprise me before I move higher. Keep in mind that there's a hefty amount of purchasing support below price, and dips are expected to be bought up. For example, like this morning's dip, which was nicely bought up. So, you know, that's just how you can use the data reports to, like, understand what to be expected. Obviously, they're not always going to nail price action every single time, but it's fairly simple to just look at them and at least have a great expectation and idea of what to expect. Now, for GME, obviously, you know, you guys are no stranger to this $25 level. We're nearing the 1 p.m. close here. So in about 20 minutes, we're going to get the 4-hour close. And for those of you unfamiliar, the market works on half-hour closes, hourly closes, 4-hour closes, daily closes, weekly closes, and monthly closes. And everything in between all of those numbers that I just said is just noise and is not much to focus on and not much to trade with. So always remember, it's always about the closes. The half-hour close, the hourly close, the 4-hour close, the daily close. Now, the levels, which are, I'm just going to remove the smaller levels. All right. The levels, which are in yellow, are the ones that we got to watch out for the most. You know, these are expected to have the most resistance, but once price gets an hourly close above a level, naturally, it will usually move up to the next level. If price closes hourly below the level, it'll usually come down to the level below. very simple how that works. So this 4-hour close at 1 p.m. is going to be a very important one. Yesterday, the 4-hour close, I think they closed it like on the penny. And you know, it was above up until like 20 minutes before, but right before they took it down to close literally the 4-hour close closed like on the penny on 25. So all on purpose, all for a reason. So this would be really nice if we get this push higher here. Now, I don't know how much I want to show this to you guys because I know a lot of people might see this and just jump in weeklies, but this is kind of what I've been tracking for a little bit here. So this is what I feel like, you know, we're going to get coming into next week. I feel like probably going to get a really nice push higher either Tuesday or Wednesday. Household investor said I just sold my 0-day BB calls for 375 gains. Yeah, so that was a really, really good call. For those of you who didn't see it, let me just show you guys this for 1 second. BB, let's see. Oh yeah, it's right here. So this is why I'm partners with Gavin. The dude is just really a magician. So look how far back already he was predicting this. Watch this. Okay, so it was right here. Okay, this is for any of you guys that don't believe in Elliott waves. Now you can start believing. This was the Elliott wave, you know, 1, wave 2, and then wave 3 higher from about the 465 level. It was always the plan. This was June 25th. Now 462 up next with a fail last week lows. Below there's 447. Next update, June 25th, no real change. See chart for levels. Again, calling for this final dip down and then a strong push higher. And then BB, per previous post, price was able to hold the zone. Now it doesn't matter if it can clear 511. If it can, it will extend to the next on screen. If not, back down. Bottomed right at the 462 level. And then, you know, you guys could see where it was pointing up here at 6 to the monthly trigger. Even back here before price bottomed. And then what happened next? Just ridiculous, honestly. Just straight up right here to 580. And I just showed it to you guys live how before the bottom was even put in, this is what Gavin had. So some of you guys may not like Elliott waves because you think it's garbage, but it's not garbage. It's the people that are doing them that just may not be so good at it. Gavin is really, really good at this. Also, obviously, he called the whole AMC move as well. I'll just show it to you guys real quick. So, you know, he had it bottoming right about the $4 level and then, you know, pretty much exploding higher. 3 straight updates in a row. Same thesis every single time. Bottom here and then straight up. And what happened? I mean, you guys know the rest. Bottomed and then, you know, powerful push higher to 450 and more than likely, at least I believe that there's a lot more upside to come. If you guys saw my AMC update, you know, I mean, very bullish here on AMC. Vogue's trend has now moved into stability as well. So this is Vogue's coiling pattern. And now that Vogue has moved up into stability, also Vogue's trend has moved up into stability, the gold line. So that will usually signify that a large rally is about to follow. So I'm bullish AMC. I have some calls. Snap graphs are bullish for the 3rd day in a row. So, you know, snap graphs right here are bullish. But this is another thing why you have to take all the data into the equation. So the next thing I wrote are the heat maps still show an unfortunate amount of selling pressure above. And so I'm not sure if price, I meant to say will, be able to make a big move higher until something changes in the options positioning, or if the move higher will be so powerful that it would chew right through all the selling pressure. So here is the heat map for AMC. So obviously there's significant selling pressure above, which is unfortunate. So it's not going to be easy to break above if there's low volume. So when you see the hedging heat map, just keep in mind that if there's a ton of volume, then yes, it's possible for price to chew right through the selling pressure above. And if there's a ton of selling at volume and price is moving down, then it's possible for price to chew through purchasing support below. Because the dealers just have to buy or sell shares. But if there's so much buying that even dealers that are forced to sell shares, them selling shares can't counteract massive amounts of buying. So when volume is low, the hedging heat map is going to dictate price. Because even if price moves higher, the dealers will have to sell shares and bring it right back down. But if volume is super high, the dealer selling shares won't even matter to price. So always keep that in mind. With low volume, expect the heat maps to work well. With high volume, the high volume might chew right through all of, the selling pressure. Second, I just see a question. James, I'm a huge data guy, which is why I really dig your approach, but I'm still learning about options. How do you take the data then? Options is a trading strategy. It doesn't really correlate with the data. There are thousands of different approaches to playing options. Every person has their own unique version of the strategy that works for them. Me and Gavin personally have came up with our own strategy that we like very much, and we think it's the most suitable for retail investors, especially people that work, people that can't watch the charts all day. It just works very, very well, and we'll be teaching it in our bootcamp that is starting on July 5th, but don't join if you're not ready to put in the work, because it's going to be a lot of work, a lot to learn, and it's only going to be 1 month. So if you are serious about learning, A, option strategies, B, how to read the data reports, C, like our trading strategies that we use with the LDPM, makes trading almost a cheat code. If we're being honest. I mean, if you guys want to see some good examples, I'm not going to get into that right now. I don't know if you see the Twitter post, but yeah, so, if you want to really learn that kind of thing, we are going to be teaching it, but, you got to be willing to put in the effort that it's going to take. All right, so it's 12:48, and GME's at 25:04, so as long as we can close above 25 at 1 p.m., we should be looking at a nice push higher. LDPMs are green, which is very encouraging. And 30-minute LDPM moved below price. 1 hour probably also did. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's go over to AMC. So yeah, no change here per my outlook. I think we're moving up to the daily trigger next. Again, we just got to wait until the options layout looks more supportive for a move higher. I don't like all the selling pressure above. It's possible that a lot of these positions will be closed end of the week. So the reason why there's that wall of selling pressure, and I think we might have just ran into some, okay. The reason why there's that wall of selling pressure is because these right here are retail sold calls or institutional sold calls. 13% increase, 20% in the past 5 days, 10% in the past 10 days. So you'll notice that there's been an increase in institutions or funds selling covered calls on AMC. When they sell covered calls on AMC, then that's what makes, the selling pressure. It looks like they sold the $5 calls. $5 calls, they sold the $4 calls, and not much in the 450 strike. So when they sell the $5 calls, just like if me or you, if we buy, wait, did someone say ETC squeezing right now? Didn't get what? Oh my God. Oh, wow. Oh, that's fantastic. Hope you guys are ready for next week. Yeah. Oh, man. That's crazy. Okay, so yeah, guys, next week should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to trading it with each and every single one of you. You guys all know my options plan. It's a good one. I think it's going to potentially make a lot of money. Again, this is what I have, going into next week. So I wonder if we're here right now. Maybe I'll just move that over or drop. Either that or come down a little bit more here. Then, this should be either Monday or Wednesday. But again, I'm not a bar pattern guy. This is just, it's been working for the high. It's been working for the pullback. So I have no reason to assume that it won't work for here as well. All right. So, that's basically my presentation. If you guys have any questions, let's get into some question and answers. Do you have to pay for the bootcamp if you're in the Discord? Absolutely not. You'll just be moving rooms. Jeremy says, I joined Meme Stock Watch and I was wondering if there's a Discord as well. So there is a Discord. Problem is that the Discord got filled up and, there's just not much more room for new people to join. That being said, we understand that we have a system that works and we do want to teach and help retail investors. And so what we're doing is we're making a second room where you still have access to all the trading alerts that are given by different analysis, but all the new people that join will be put in their own room. They won't be able to see all the people that have been in the Discord for the past year or whatever. And so in their own room, every single day, you guys will have a live stream from myself and Gavin talking about. Oh, Captain James is calling me. Hold on one second. Captain, I'm live on stream. Before you say anything, I'm live on stream on YouTube. You want me to put you on speaker?
So let me say hello to you, man.
Hey, what's up, Captain?
Let me say something. You have me on live stream right now?
Yeah, you're on live stream.
You're watching my man JamesRoland right now. Tell me he did not guide you through this entire quarter. Him and Gavin May had to have done this for you guys. James is the man. Happy 4th of July, James.
I appreciate that, man. Happy 4th of July to you, too. Here's my thing. Why didn't I get my own personalized tweet?
You did.
No.
It was on there. I got you, man. I got you, dog.
All I saw was everybody else's name.
Before you texted me.
What?
I gave you a shout-out.
Where was it?
Hold on a second.
I want my own personal shout-out. That's what I want.
You can't see it, right?
I'm on your account.
Hold on. I'm telling you, man. So this will be tweet number 2, just for J-Roll.
Yes, my own tweet.
Hold on, I gotta do the special one just for you. I did one for you earlier.
Yeah, but you could also retweet because in the Meme Stock Watch weekly, basically go to the last tweet where I tagged you. Because I want to show you something. We called this entire move in SPY this week in our weekly forecast perfectly. So I tagged you in it because I wanted you to see it.
Hold on, I'm looking right now.
Here, for all you guys on stream that want to read it, it's right here.
I gotta give you a jam. I gotta get some music on for you. I need like a sexy GIF of some kind. I don't have the GIFs on this computer to do it.
Here, 1 second.
Hold on. Yeah, dude, we caught that bounce like perfect to the upside, man.
And the funniest thing is that
hourly, dude, we just ran it right up. It was awesome, dude.
Yeah, I was watching your stream the whole day, by the way, until I made mine. But here, look at what I just texted you. Look what I just texted you.
I gotta put
The funniest thing was that on Sunday night, because I wrote in my forecast, my view on SPY this week is a possible dip to start the week, but upside from there. And then I went into the entire reasoning. And I texted you, buy the effing dip. That's why I texted you on Sunday night, because we knew the Monday dip was coming because of the bearish daily LDPM. You could read it. I just sent it to you on Twitter. I want you to read that report and tell me that's not a goated report right there. I texted it to you. So
I'm looking right now for it. I don't see it.
You didn't just get a text?
Oh, yeah, I got a text.
Yeah, read that.
I'm looking on Twitter for the notification.
Or just go to my name. It's my second. It's my third to last tweet.
Right now.
All right.
So what do you got here? Oh yeah, dude.
I want you to read that for 2 minutes, because
reading it right now.
All right, so I'm gonna read it out loud to the stream.
Read it to the stream right now, man. I'm reading it right now.
Yeah, so my view on SPY this week is a possible dip to start the week, but upside from there. My reasoning comes from the newfound purchasing support found in the hedging heat map. So now you guys are all about to learn something. Let me explain to you guys this simply. When puts are bought and calls, naked or covered, are sold, meaning as a market hedge, it introduces stabilizing purchasing support into the market in the case of price down or IV up.
That's right.
Meaning, when large market participants get anxious of a move down in the markets and hedge by either buying puts or selling calls, it forces dealers to hedge by purchasing shares if price actually does go down.
I love Justin, too, from Deep Dive.
Yeah, he's amazing. So in the words of Justin, the creator of Deep Dive Stocks, who's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life, the recent downside seems to have spurred some protective measures for market participants. These protective measures are now poised...
Can I interrupt you for just a minute?
Yeah.
I don't think... Some people are very aware of the stabilizing impact of the market. We have a stabilizing market right now. People don't realize that.
No, people don't realize that.
They think that some people still think that we're in a bear market.
Yeah.
Or bear market rally.
Yeah, you can't help everybody.
They don't know, dude, and they try to re-rationalize it.
Yeah.
They will be left behind.
Yep.
It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue to read it.
So I wrote, pretty ironic, isn't it? Well, this is pretty much the reasoning for the old saying, a market crash can't happen when everyone is prepared for it. With all that being said, I'm looking to dip by SPY at the daily trigger for a push higher. While price drifts between the hourly and the daily trigger, I'm not interested in trading it as the signals are unclear. My only 3 trades I'm willing to take are as follows. Price moves above the hourly trigger, currently at 435.36. So let's go to SPY. And here was the hourly trigger right here. So if we bought this 434, the hourly trigger, you're up $8 right now. Is that right? 434. You're up $9 right now on that trade.
Yeah, I'm on some.
That was the first trade.
Right now for the 5th.
Yeah, I watched you take those on stream.
I've got 443s to 448. I think we fail up there. I don't know if we can even get. Like this whole thing, this weird dynamic where if we didn't have 4th of July, we'd likely roll on. In my view, we'd roll on above 443 on Monday at the open or something. But because of this weird holiday and the theta and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it makes it difficult to trade it for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think we can go to 448. I think we can go right up there by Monday or Wednesday.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, to be honest. And then the second trade is price moves down to the daily trigger, where I'm expecting it to either catch support and form a macro airplane to the upside.
Yep.
Possible pushing for new highs in SPY. And the third trade was daily LDPM moves back below price. So let's go back here. We'll go to daily, and we'll turn on LDPM. And daily LDPM moved below price on Tuesday at about 434. Since then, 3 straight green bars. Now, if you took either trade number 1, price moves above the hourly trigger, you made bank. If you took trade number 3, daily LDPM moves back below price, you made bank. And then if you waited for the daily trigger, like I did, then you didn't make anything. But I did trade some of the swings. So this was the do not touch zone right here, in between here and here. And the daily trigger was the major buy zone. Now look how close we got. We did get significantly close. 431, 428. Man, if we would have actually came down $3 lower, I would have made a humongous profit. But I was being a little greedy. And so I was just hesitant to buy, and then I had to buy a little later. But yeah, you like that report though, right?
I fucking love it. Not only do I love it, dude. So I tried to proof this stuff on earlier this week with some suits and stuff, and people were in full panic mode, and I'm like, no, like this stuff works. Like, it's weird when like it's fascinating this week, or it's been fascinating since December, watching traditional market participants, gamma traders. I don't care what they've got, but usually they've got one tool. But when you combine them all, you can see the emperor with no clothes. You can see like you're lifting the skirt up on a lot of people that can't see the invisible hand. And that when that invisible hand is there, it rarely fails. Enough. It not only does it rarely fail, but you end up catching so many people off guard or positioned wrongly that it actually fuels your positioning to the upside or downside. We watched the whole pullback on the hourly, right? It's like 8 to 10 times to a T every day, right?
Every day, yeah, and bulls were just holding it.
Boom, boom, boom. We saw it turn sideways. We saw the sideways move. That was, what people wanted. They wanted that last little bloodbath at the end, and not down to DT, but and then it was crazy. And the whole thing's crazy because we can expect pullbacks to DT, WT 3 times in a year, DT 9-10 times, but those are all viable dips. And we don't have Bello going down or reversing right now. We don't have any major bull or bear planes hiding above us right now, even though price isn't showing it. We don't have any of that stuff, and we have the stabilization of markets. Fall is telling us not to expect volatility, but to expect less volatile future.
Yeah.
So there's like all these different things, all the interplay of all this stuff that people are missing en masse they're missing it. And the last thing is what you just spoke about, which is the critical part, is the stabilization of markets. They're not seeing that. There's a few guys out there, long-time market participants, that know exactly what's happening here. And when we look back on this, it's going to be a mind blower, right? And like what actually needs to happen for a crash then is like multi-step, and we're not even there.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not even in like step 2, 3, 4, 5 to confirm whenever that does happen. So how do you start calling that right where we are? You can't. It's too dangerous. You're gonna fucking burn yourself. You're gonna blow your accounts up. You're gonna give back all that money from 2022 or 2021 if you're doing spec growth selling. Like you're gonna give it all back, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Sucks. I don't know what to say to people. I have a hard time with it. I internalize a lot of that because you want people to know, and I don't know, man. You know, there's been some key moments here, right? We had a key moment. Let's look, I can't do this here. I gotta send another chart. So we've had some key moments in the market, and we had one recently. We just had one where. Give me a second here. We just had key moments right on the open of the 27th, right? And you can see it already turning up days before. We started trying to buy dips on the 23rd and 26th. Started trying to catch those breaks above, and you can see in futures they were selling HT futures, but even at that time period, we knew the move was higher, not lower. And on the 26th and 27th, the prevailing mantra was that capitulation move down below 430, and then try to tag the weekly triggers down there. I believe that time was at 412 or something, and then start that process of crashing the market. And just that quick reversal. It was, you should have known right then and there that you already lost.
Yeah.
We made a post on Twitter about that basically we lost Q3 at this point. Maybe JPM could help them out. There are some other things that could happen that could save sell side in Q3, but this right here is proving to you in the 26th, 27th that the strength of the market, I guess.
Yeah.
To the upside.
It's so beautiful when you just look at the chart and you just see, beers protecting price from moving above the hourly trigger countless times, and then bulls finally get that break, that gorgeous looking break right there. On where was that? That was Tuesday. That beautiful break, and then from there, you literally see them. You see bears fighting to push it back down through, but bulls furiously protecting the hourly trigger, leading to just more upside. It's amazing to just watch the battleground.
I also want to, if you're watching James right now, I want you guys to go out there and look at the end of Q4 2022, that last week or two. If you recall, the entire market said we were selling that little stretch there between December 19th and the 6th of January. The common mantra, this is ending a quarter, right? So stay with me here. We're coiling and we're parking the bus, and everyone that I knew said we were going to crash there. All of Fitbit was saying crash there. Matter of fact, anyways, that quarter ended, we exploded to the upside. And we did it again on Q2 of 2023. We had that same coiling effect. We walked into March 28th into March 31st. We popped the collar, the JPM collar, we popped it, and it just ran up for this last quarter. And we're kind of seeing that same thing a third time. So you're like walking like a duck, talking like a duck. looking like a duck, smelling like a duck, starts to look like a duck. So until that collar comes out, this Q3 is still setting up right now to a higher trade for Q3, unless there's some other information we don't have. But pay attention to Q4 2022 and Q2 2020, end of Q1 2023. So Q4 2022, the end of Q1 2023, and we're exhibiting those same behaviors right now. So just be aware of that for this upcoming quarter. Now, we did have a down period. We had 2 or 3 pullbacks for you to get in on. We had 2 major lows in Q1 of 2020. Excuse me, Q2 2023, so that you could jump in on. So be looking for those too. We had the first one on the 24th of April. So if you're missing this run or you're fearful of this run, you would expect some kind of pullback into middle of July to jump on that move higher. Maybe even a second one at the end of July. But that would still push us up into late summer, right? So August 31st or whatever. Anyways.
Either way, there's a lot of names. Even if you miss this run, there's a lot of names that are going to get going. There's a lot of names like Google, Amazon, AMD, even, again, GameStop as well. Like, all these names, they didn't even start yet. So you're really not missing that much, even if you missed out on the technical market rally, because we still have QQQ, more than likely 377, put in a new high. SPY, again, like you said, 448, 447, put in a new high to complete wave 5 of 3. That's what that's how Gavin has it.
That's wave 5 of 3.
And then to get up there, it's not going to be the same names that were wave 3 of 3. It's going to be rotation to Amazon, Google, some of the tech stocks that didn't get moved up yet. Those are going to be completing wave 5 of 3. So wave 3 of 3 was Tesla, NVIDIA. What else was it? There were some other names that I'm missing. Apple.
We saw
Netflix.
The rotation. So 2 weeks ago we did a stock show, and we went over all of Fangman Plus T, and we were scratching our heads because we were like, hey, some of these look like they're ready to start rolling down, but others here in Fangman Plus T are looking like they're just getting ready.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden last week you saw that rotation. It was amazing to watch happen. I think it was like 2 weeks ago we did that show.
Yeah.
And we started watching that rotation into. They'll still perform. They just won't. They'll be outperformers within tech.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I have a trade set up for Amazon that I posted for the Meme Stock Watch guys. Let me see where it is. It's not.
Are you guys looking at biotech ETFs right now?
No. Okay,
go ahead. Talk about your trade. And I want to give you guys a trade. You guys probably shouldn't take this, but I haven't told any of my guys this yet. But he's talking. I'll be quiet. I'm going to bring stuff in the background.
So this is, the Amazon trade. I'm looking to buy an hourly close above 131.46. And I think it's going to be a really quick move higher to 135.63. Like almost something like this. Let's say whatever price gets above at some point. It's literally going to be like this. So I think this is going to be a huge opportunity for calls. We tried to play Amazon earlier, and we lost the trade. But again, it was a pretty insignificant loss because the long idea was get long as long as 127 holds, and it didn't. So I got stopped out, and then obviously it ended up ripping to the upside. But yeah, this is what I have. I'm going to try long above 131.46, and this is going to be the minimum target, first major trim level, possible extension up here to 138 if we close above 135.36. Gavin's texting me. Oh, about ETC, obviously.
Should I put a PT on Twitter at 448.66?
You can probably, honestly.
I was going to do it, but I didn't want to.
Wait, let's see what Gavin's target is.
I've got 450.04 too.
That'll make so many beers mad. And let me just go over the Google trade. So Google is long above 121.69. They're also on meme stock watch. If you want the full rundown, let's do Amazon first. Here's the trade idea. As long as this holds 131.46, it wasn't super clear. Try to clean that up for you guys. And then obviously all the data points to back it up. And then Google. Yeah, look long with an hourly close above 121.68 and first trim level is 126. If hourly close above here, expect all these levels can possibly be hit as well. Same idea for Gavin. So yeah, these are definitely going to provide some great opportunity very shortly, maybe even next week. So 444.34. I mean like top level. I think he was just sending me his next level.
Yeah, it's my next level. It's for the 5th. I've got an extension on the 5th to that. I should probably clarify that and say that's July 5th.
I wonder what Gavin's SPY update was for last night. Let's see if he hit it. Wait, that's not right. 445.78. He said anything above the recent high, basically. Yeah. 445.94. Oh, you said you had 450? Yeah, 450.69. I'm missing anything. But it's just going to get bought up anyways. Yeah. Here, Captain, let me explain. Basically, what Gavin's saying is just that each and every dip are just going to keep getting bought up. Each and every dip. Every single dip is just going to keep getting bought up.
What's that?
Gavin's saying that just each and every single dip are going to keep getting bought up. Any like multi-day pullback is just it's an automatic buy.
Automatic buy, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, just a heads up. So seasonally, the best performance for XBI, which is biotech, is July. It's their best performing month of the year. They look very bearish right now on a weekly and daily time frame, but they've had a series of higher lows and a significant amount of volume come in on their low back in June. So this is back on June 15th or May 15th. It still hasn't produced a major print to the upside. You can take this trade on like a triple leverage biotech ETF, and but just be aware of it. Like if you see a reversal in it, it's not really one that you take right now, but it is one where if you start begin to see a reversal on it. You look at it on the thing here. Just if you guys are looking for something sector-wise, if you see that it's sitting on its weekly right now with a double bottom. The daily is coming racing down at it right now, but the daily is about to bottom. So you can see a major squeeze coming up on XBI. It's not quite there yet, but monitor it over the next couple weeks. And there's the fair possibility like you're going to get like all the velos at bottom at like minus 25, minus 50, and you're going to get this DT coming down, and it's going to be a bear trap. It's gonna rip some fucking faces off, and it's right now. It's seasonally for old people that trade on Wall Street. They're expecting this giant move up on it, and there are some. I don't know what the biotech ETFs are, but
you mind if I give you a trade right now?
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. I'm just giving you one right now. Give me one. What's up?
I'm long September 30 GME calls, and
oh yeah, dude.
And I think they're gonna 10x.
I agree with you. I see those targets up there.
And let me tell you something. As much as I am a GME investor and I have all my shares, I have not been bullish on GME for the longest time. I'll tell you when I turned bearish on GME. And I mean, you could take one look at the chart and you'll know where I turned bearish.
Dude, I'm already on it with you. I was reviewing GME the other day in chat, and I was like, do I tell these guys the target's up high? I'm like, nah. They're gonna pinch themselves.
So I have targets actually.
We'll just take it one step at a time. Yeah, I agree with you. It's gonna moon, real moon, and it's very emotional down there, man. I was trading it pre $23, and that's a very significant place for myself personally, because no one believed back then. I mean, nobody. No one was even talking about it back then.
You're always gonna have love for GME because you're one of the OGs.
Yeah, like when I see that number, like that 23, 25, I'm like, dude, that was the first real signpost. That was like the first time we took Roy and Kitty seriously. And nobody, you're talking about, maybe 5,000 users a day on Wall Street Bets. On Twitter, we weren't even at the point where everybody was saying, or all the smart people were saying, fuck you, that'll never happen. They had to, like, I went through all the death, dying, and acceptance shit with major accounts, right? The people that are trusted, million followers and shit like that. Million follower bear, I mean, serious hedge funds and bank people. They were completely out of the fucking loop. We all knew about Volkswagen, and we knew what was going to happen. We knew they would have to shut it down. We knew there was no fucking way that they were going to let that shit keep going. The moment they shut that shit down, dude, to us it was over. But we knew that the longer that they stayed fucking stupid and didn't listen to the smart guys that don't get paid a lot of money, like scientists in the background, the more hubris there was, the more it was going to happen. But right now, right what you're talking about, I see it on the charts right now. What you're talking about, I see that target, man. I see that $90, brother. I see it.
Yeah. So do you remember when GME broke below the monthly trigger?
Mm-hmm.
That was in August. So, I held my shares throughout the entire downside, but the entire time, for almost a year now, we're talking about 10 months, all I told everybody in the Discord was, like, I respect everybody holding, I'm holding myself, but, do not be bullish here and don't expect anything to happen. We were not buying calls whatsoever. I don't think I bought calls on GME in, like, the past 10 months, besides for, like, some of the small, obvious moves, like, when we had that bullish trigger cross, May, like
squeezes for a couple days.
Yeah, but never as in okay, I want to hold calls for over a 3-month period right now because
Agreed.
Because I never trusted that any of the rallies would last because price was not only below the monthly trigger, but even the weekly trigger crossed below, very bearish. Now
we've had those conversations too about like you don't want to get trapped for the next 5 weeks when you be trading something else.
Exactly. But did you take a look at the GME monthly velocity?
Yeah.
So it's I've been watching that really closely, and let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You know what the date is, right?
Yeah.
1 day till monthly velo gets the new print, and this is gonna be this is gonna be the least monthly negative velocity GME has had since we broke below the monthly trigger all the way back in August.
Do we get the quarterly print too?
Right.
I run the quarterly on it as well.
Right.
Time frame stuff.
Meaning they're going to want to keep this pinned here into the end of the month, but then next month, negative velocity is just going to be barely anything. Price will be able to break above the monthly trigger. And
hold on. Keep talking. I got to mute for a minute.
No problem. Price will be able to break above the monthly trigger, which, as everybody knows, causes incredible acceleration. Like when Tesla broke below its monthly trigger here, caused extreme acceleration to the downside. But when Tesla broke above its monthly trigger here, that caused extreme acceleration to the upside. And so, monthly trigger is such a huge acceleration level that this coming up, for GME, you guys could see how well bears have been protecting the monthly trigger. So we had the rejection here, we had the rejection here, we had 2 rejections here. But those were all obvious because monthly velocity was pretty strongly negative.
I'm trying to tip out a guy here, and I don't have any goddamn cash. I'm like...
Oh.
How do you tip people out? Yeah, you gotta keep a lot of cash on me. People want cash when you tip them,
Yeah, obviously.
Sorry, this is my mechanic. I brought my caddy down to my mechanic, and it's 4th of July, and I'm like going on a trip and picking it up, and somebody helps you out or whatever, you leave them fucking $100 in cash or something and thank them, right? Holidays, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about.
Yeah,
you got a lot of fanboys on my Discord, by the way.
We got a lot of fanboys of you on our Discord too. Like, we have a lot of. There's a group of us out there. I called some of them out earlier today. There's a whole group of like real traders in FinTwit, right? A class of people that are trading day in, day out. Even if they're on a higher time frame, like a weekly or monthly, even a yearly, you can tell who the traders are, and investors, and you can tell who either has maybe like, I've owned Tesla since it was $5, right? Or like you could, I guess, or I'm trying to sell service, I'm trying to sell this, or I don't know, I'm trying to make a name for myself as a reporter. Like some people I find on FinTwit, they're writing articles on Medium because they're likely want to get picked up by a financial a publication. So you don't always know everyone's motivations. And as a new trader or investor, it's very easy to slip into not knowing who to trust because people know that you're new, and then people know that they say things or write things or post things or make videos that appease your upside down position or your emotions.
Your confirmation bias.
Your confirmation bias, or even just being new, like some things you may not know, and the veil is lifted on Wall Street, and you realize that it's all scams, so you get angry about it for a year or two, and then they're feeding into that for you. It's funny, is there's a famous YouTuber. It's got one of the most famous financial YouTubers. And I always find it fascinating because he'll cover stock tickers, stock symbols that people are upside down in. That's it. That's all they cover. And the reason they do that is because you're the confirmation bias, right? I'm upside down along this ticker, got burned to the ground, and now I'm going to come to you for my Kool-Aid. And like the things that you're doing for people, and you see me with GME too, and other people with GME and all kinds of stuff is, here, we're doing this right now, we're going to do that right now. I want you to be a happy GME investor, not let me pour the tears out for you, or have you drink the Kool-Aid. You're like a sober voice for the GME crowd. It's very fucking rare. Matter of fact, some people on Superstocks made a post about me. And they're
really?
Like, this guy, yeah, dude. These people made a post because they're like, he doesn't give me Kool-Aid. Like, you don't do that either. And there's, like, you don't want to be giving Kool-Aid to people that are upside down or want to be like, hey, I love GME, but I want to enter the right time, and I want to always be happy in my position, all that kind of stuff. You're a different guy. That's why you and I don't get 1 million followers.
Right.
People like us don't get that shit. We get put onto people that are actively trading TweetDeck, but we're not out there actively. Like, if I made posts all day long saying GME's going to zero, I'd have 1 million fucking followers.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd have 1 million people in your comments, getting engagement, everything.
Yeah, dude. And then, like, they piss off a GME bull.
Yeah.
He tells his friends, all 5 of those people follow me, and they want to bitch at me in my comments. But they don't know that I'm just trying to karma farm and follower farm and all that kind of stuff. So this is whole back end of this shit. That's really wild. And that's why guys like you, like when I was posting those guys, like, those guys they get followers. Just see who follow them. Like, people that are smart, intelligent, wealthy, they follow those guys, but they'll never tell their followers that. Like, you're never going to get someone out there, you're never, like, Funstrat, Tom Lee is not going to go out there and say, follow Captain Jim James. He follows
exactly.
me, right?
Oh, he does?
But I think, yeah, man, like, Funstrat follows me, Pump follows me, who's the other guy? There's like 3 or 4. I have more than that. I think I have like 20 or 30 really big names that follow me, but they wouldn't tell their followers that. They keep that for themselves so they actually know what the market's doing. They have a small list of people they follow so they can go out there and go, do these motherfuckers think it's going down or do they think it's going up, right? These are the ones I trust. So it's kind of a wild dynamic. and our place in that dynamic. You know, you got people that are selling things, and then you got people like us that are in the trenches day in, day out.
Right. And like that, exactly like you said, like I haven't, pumped GME at all in the past year because I mean, I got in on some of the moves higher and like I tried to tell everybody to sub. I mean, I didn't give financial advice, but warned of the more
Education.
of the education, but I've never once held calls for a long time period thinking, all right, we're about to go on a huge multi-week, multi-month rally. This is the first time that I'm now in that position, and it's for good reason. This isn't like some, small little thesis that's like, oh yeah, this could work, that could work. It's every single thing is lining up, is falling into place, and I don't want anybody listening to this to buy calls or anything, obviously.
Am I still on live stream with you?
Yeah, you are. But I do constantly update my own strategy on Meme Stock Watch, and listen, the risk to reward isn't always worth it for GME calls. In fact, it's barely ever worth it because there's so many better tickers to trade if you're trying to trade calls or even puts or whatever. But this opportunity, I think we're going to look back on this in a couple of months and be like, wow, that was life-changing.
Like it took me 3 years, so I'm in with Tesla Gang. I'm in the secret private chat room, or it's like secret private chats with all these high follow accounts and stuff in there. And I don't go in there too often, but it took me 3 years to make inroads with Tesla Gang. And at first I was hated because you got one investor that's been in since day one, and his motivation is he always wants it to go up. So he's always going to tell you publicly that it's going to go up. His second motivation is he wants to sell calls into you and puts into you. And you're like some guy with like 10 grand or 100 grand, and you're like, well, who do I trust? I'm going to trust that Tesla bull that's got 1 million followers, right? And that guy doesn't care about you and what your plan is, your investing and trading plan. But I will assure you that if you only have $100,000 or $50,000 or whatever it is, that your trading plan is way different than that guy. You are actually looking for major lows to buy into Tesla so that you can turn into that guy with 1 million followers.
Yeah.
You're always happy.
Yeah.
If you're a Tesla bull, you want to always be right side up.
Yeah.
You want to always be buying at the right time and not be buying the $1,500 price, not be buying the highs. You want to be in the trenches when it's blood and everyone is bearish. And know that there's people out there that know where those bottoms are.
Like Gavin.
Guys like you. Guys like Gavin. Guys like me. Guys like Matthew Ryan. There's guys out there, ST short seller, Life of Pelk, like the Jedi Marcus guys all know and are the voice of reason to say, hey, we're so fucking bearish right now. Buy this fucking dip and hold it. And I'm telling you, like, it's after 3 years, right? These Tesla bulls that I'm now really good friends with are happier.
Yeah.
Happier owners, happier investors, happy to be a bull again. And these people love these companies. Like, my buddy Joe dude loves Tesla. And it's like, do you want to be a Tesla bull and owner of Tesla where you're always happy, where it doesn't matter where we are? Like, that takes years to do, right? It's
years.
GME Gang.
It's the same thing. Yeah, it's just, adding key bottoms, keep you happy. Mm-hmm. Protecting downside with protective hedges, keep you happy. Like, I feel so bad for all the people that got, rocked by the Reddit psyop of, options are bad, don't trade options. Like, I feel so bad because for the past year, in this bullish price action, I was able to just continuously sell covered calls. I don't know if I said bullish or bearish, but I meant bearish. Continuously sell covered calls, add at key bottoms, take advantage of low IV for calls up, take advantage of high IV to sell calls and add to my share position. And, some people got psyoped so bad by, to me and you, obviously it's an obvious psyop, like obviously coming from the other side, but to them, they thought it was real people trying to help them and convince them that options were bad, and so many people fell for it. So
I was eventually IP banned. They say I wasn't, but I was IP banned from Reddit with some I had a 12 or 18-year account or something like since the beginning. And then I had another multi-year account, and I was on Wall Street Bets at that time, and there was a moment where all the OGs knew this is over. We're done. It's over. And we went onto Reddit and Wall Street Bets and tried to tell people, and we were astroturfed to 10 feet below ground.
Wow.
People were they just kept, and the drumbeat was, we were all there just going, all these people are going to get fucked, like every single, oh, great, I get it. Like, this is now, I remember the whole thing, like when it turned into a movement. We don't care at this point, it's a movement. I even get that. But that's not originally what GME was. And there was a trap there laid for a lot of emotional people, new traders, new investors.
Yeah.
They got trapped. They got eaten up, man. It's pretty fucking ugly.
I know.
But trying to even warn of it, you had forces that were intentionally discrediting the original groups that were trading it. And what's even funnier is that some of the, even now, some of the claim to fame on it are not those people. So, or they're like somewhere in there, but they weren't really the major players. Even the mantra of who was actually trading it, who was involved in it. I mean, there was like maybe 300 people. None of those names. I see a few of them, but not many of them that were involved in the original trade going up. So there's a lot of this is mine. This is my documentary. I have the rights to this. That's not Roaring Kitty, but a lot of other there's a lot of power swinging dicking going on back then.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. But whatever.
I mean, that's a lot of the things that I've just been trying to do is just, trying to help retail traders understand that, if you're an investor in the market and you know that your stock is going to go down, either, due to watching your indicators, price breaks below the monthly trigger, that's obviously going to mean downside coming, or if the data reports shows, ugly data, then you have two options. You can watch your money go down. You can literally watch your portfolio get smaller, or you can hedge the downside and buy more shares when price gets lower. And so many people were just bamboozled by the psyop that they had to sit there watching their position be read without feeling the power that they can do something about it. And
if you
those
are long in the right places, you should always be dynamically hedging that position.
Of course.
In volatile events or ER reports.
Of course. It's crazy not to. I get the name dumb money, but if you don't want to be dumb money, then just learn how, investing really works. It's not just about being naked long for 2 years straight. It's not a recipe for success.
I have puts on right now. I have puts to end of the day.
Yeah, protective
I think
puts.
Risk today right now to go down to the hourly trigger, or just above it before the close. If we don't hit that hourly trigger, we're going to explode into the fifth. But I actually own right now some cheap puts, and I have a spread for the fifth, so I don't have to deal with any. I just want to capture all that data into that Wednesday.
So yeah, we are seeing a tad of hourly bearish divergence here.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I can. So my whole plan right now is to close some puts before we get down there, right? Capture a bunch of cash on that, and then stay on, swing higher into the fifth. Stay on long into the fifth. So that's how I'm actually positioned right now.
That's good. I like that.
I said I was in a spread, but I didn't tell you that I also had cheap puts. But that's hedging my long thesis, right?
Right, exactly.
The cost of my trade, I break even regardless here. So,
yeah. By the way, there's a gorgeous airplane setup earlier today. Dip by a 442 for $2. That's beautiful.
We traded. I had some puts earlier for the airplane that went down at.
So is that 1050?
The first airplane that went down to the second airplane that went down. I took that one. I ended up leaving those puts on and buying call spreads right at the bottom. 442 is where I bought call spreads, and I left the puts on because I was like, if we can roll here. Like my puts are they were kind of cheap. Like I think they were 12 or 24 cents or something, like dirt cheap penny puts. And I wanted to position for the fifth. So I'm actually long call spreads as of 11:55, 12 o'clock. and long underlying puts 0 to 8s for today for any kind of risk to the downside move.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think we're going to get a downside move unless the 1 minute trigger crosses below the 5 minute trigger, because velocity is putting in a really high reading right now.
Too many people know, though, that too many people know about the last quarterly OPEX.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's only one bearish divergence right now that I'm seeing. So, unless we put in a second one, I don't think there's going to be a significant downside. But once we put in a second one, if the 1 minute trigger crosses below the 5 minute trigger, price can go straight down to the hourly trigger.
Yep.
Whenever there's two divergences or more, and the 1 minute trigger crosses below the 5, there's really risk straight down to the hourly trigger. And it's as bearish as price breaking below the hourly trigger. By the way, it's the same bearish.
That's right. I see. You go back and look at the chart for March 31st. You can actually see the roll around 2:30 in the afternoon, and we rolled down until I think 2:30 in the afternoon, but then we exploded to the upside.
Oh yeah.
Exploded. Those are the 0-day calls that are in the market to offset the negative hedging for Q3 on the underlying assets that the banks own. So those calls, right, are destroyed all day long, and then at some point, as we head into end of day, they will actually flip up and will run into the bell to the upside. We'll actually start squeezing at some point into the bell due to all of that call activity to not disrupt the market with hedging.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Yeah, that dip might have been it. So I thought this dip was probably that moment, but I think that too many people know, so they're going to front run this straight into the bell.
That's funny. The LDPM scanner caught this push higher as well.
See, we just hit my PT3. My STX sell level just got tagged. My PT3 was 443.91. So this is I got the stream up still right now. I gotta actually go out and say something to these guys.
Oh, you're on stream?
Yeah, we're still streaming. I'm not here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'll check in with you really quick. SPY just tagged the STX sell at 443.91. You can see it right here. I've got it charted up for you. Now, the key point on this is what happens here. What's the key point that you should know is that we just got a new high. The return to the scene of the crime trade is done. And there's a very key point here. Algorithms pay attention to exact ticks. If we had failed to get that tick above the previous high, it would be very bearish. Getting that tick right there is a signal to bulls take this market long from here, even on a reversal. It's not a bearish sign. If there had been a failure here at any point, it would be perceived as a failure to make a new high. We just got one, 443.94. This is a very good sign for bulls. This is not a double top sign. This is a sign that we're going higher. Let's just be aware of that in the stream right now. Yeah, man, that was a good move right there, even with that tweezer. Like we just pinned these computers are running off of exact numbers. If they had failed just below, it would have been a very bad sign for the market. So that was very good right there. We just saw.
Yeah, there's also
not next 5 minutes, like next few days.
Into that high, there was also some 5-minute bearish divergence telling us that the move was false, and there's only one 5-minute divergence. But if there was two and price breaks below the 1 minute trigger, we'd expect it to go back to the 5-minute trigger. Very textbook.
It'll roll back, but it won't roll back like people think.
Yeah, I mean, look, as long as I feel like when hourly velocity is strong like it is right now, unfortunately for bears, you have to assume that the 5-minute trigger is just going to keep carrying price higher all day. So when hourly velo is running hot like this, what I like to do is just, if I get taps down to the 5-minute trigger, I like to buy them with a stop loss 10 cents below. Very simple. And then you just ride it the entire, and then you just sell on every pop. So like here, would have bought them here, and then you dove down to maybe the 1 minute, to sell, or waited until the first divergence, which happened right here, to sell, and then rinse and repeat throughout the entire day.
Be really careful, or not careful. Be hyper aware of into the bell, like the creepy crawly trade all the way up to get above at this point with that tag.
Like I'm looking at Rivian now, and you can see when hourly velo is strong, you can see that you can just keep buying the 5-minute trigger over and over and over. And as long as the 1-minute trigger never crosses below, here was the bullish trigger cross, obviously. So if you have your alerts on, you get that very bullish, and then price moves up to the weekly trigger as always. So simple, so beautiful. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do question and answer for these guys now, because this is actually the biggest stream I've ever had. I've never had 100 people on a live stream. I average like 20 or 30, so this is pretty cool for me.
You don't need like the less people the better sometimes, man. Like it's like if I can ever go back to just a small group, sometimes I'm like, man, I would love that. I go through these phases where like we get like hit and runs from like YouTube. People that don't know who you are on Twitter, don't know who you are on YouTube, I'll spend every day in, day out with you. So, like, your core group of people have always been with me, dude. Those are my friends. Like, so this group you have right now, dude, they're just yours forever.
Yeah.
Just treat them good always. Fucking, you like, be their friend. Like, they're like, my people are my friends. Like, and you'll look back on this time and be like, dude, all these motherfuckers were with me from day one.
Yeah. I do appreciate all you guys watching.
That's a big deal, right? Your core group of people that you trade with.
Yeah, 100%.
Friends for life. Yeah, dude, they're the only people you'll ever trust forever is your core group.
Yeah.
They're yours.
Absolutely.
Cherishable moments in this time period for you.
Absolutely,
Spend this time like with these guys because these are your guys, man, forever. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I feel about the friends that I've made the past few years, dude. In my group, they'll be my friends till the day I die. So. Whether we trade or not, I'll always know these people, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, 100%.
So Q&A. Do they have any questions or?
So let's see if anyone has any questions for you because you're on here now. If anyone has any questions, just send them through. I'll look at like the first couple of them, and then if I see a good one for like me or Captain, then we'll take it. So just hit up the comment section if you guys have any questions. Let's see if any come in.
I love that we're giving each other fucking alpha too, by the way. Like, the fact that you and I don't care, like, it's so funny. Like, all these fucking guys out there, man, they fucking, it's like, protect book gifts. I got my secret sauce, and, like, fucking, there's so many there's so many plays out there. Like, who cares, dude? Tell everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know.
Someone's talking about the AMC hearing. I'm not going to talk about that because I have zero expertise in it. Does Jim also use LDPM with triggers, pros and cons, in his opinion? Captain James doesn't know about LDPM yet, but we're going to discuss it with him shortly enough.
Yeah, I think I do know about it.
Yeah? All right. I got to have a call with you showing how this works because, this is the most incredible indicator that I've ever seen. It's.
There's a guy that runs that, isn't there, or no?
That's Justin.
Is that the wrong one? Yeah, Justin's the guy. I know that guy.
Yeah.
So did you develop your own off of some of that information, your information, or what?
No, I just use his completely, but I made my own. I made my own system with it that works exactly like the triggers. It's just LDPM instead, and it's super, super good, and it's super cool.
Yeah, you gotta show me the way, man.
So it's the same thing. I have the 5-minute trigger, the 5-minute LDPM, the 15-minute, the hourly, and the daily. So for the guys watching right now, the blue is the daily, the green is the hourly, the white and the here. I'll delete the lower time frame ones.
Dude, are you on YouTube right now?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube.
Check in with you real quick.
Oh yeah, here. So let me show you this. Come on, I'll show you how this works. This is the hourly LDPM and the daily LDPM. So as long as price is above the daily LDPM, we always expect bullish price action, as it means liquidity is good. And then the green line is hourly LDPM. So, when hourly LDPM crosses above daily, that's bullish. When hourly LDPM crosses below daily, that's bearish.
Nice, I'm in with you right now. Hold on here. I gotta mute this so that I'm here. Hold on a second.
Jesse Matthews wants to know if you're in trouble for being on a call with his family on the way to vacation.
Yes, I I've been so much trouble. My kids just came in and they're like, "Are we leaving right now?" I'm in trouble right now, to be honest. I have to go, but I'm here with you. I'm watching you right now. So much you're doing in here, man.
Okay, so this is how it works.
I love you, bro. We're friends. Like I have to like make the rounds with everybody, dude. You're like, what's going on?
I know.
Behind the scenes, dude. Like, there's like maybe like fucking 10 or 20 of us that knew what this quarter was gonna be, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we're like the fucking. I shouldn't say that shit, but
yeah,
come on, bro.
I'll tell this.
Love you, man.
I'm gonna tell everybody about our conversation that we had right now. Listen, guys, when Spy was back here, right here, as soon as where did I put that chart? Hold on, bear with me 1 second.
Sexy.
I want to see if because I wrote it before. No, it's not on this one. So many charts. I got to reorganize this. Was it here? Nope. Was it here? Yeah, it was here. So I was on a phone call with Captain James right here, and we watched as the hourly trigger crossed above the weekly trigger, and then you have the hourly above the daily, above the weekly, above the monthly, and when that happens, this is the most bullish trigger orientation, and it's always followed by large upside.
That was the confirmation right there.
Yeah, for example, if you want to go to NVIDIA, you have bullish weekly trigger.
It was done. It was over.
Yeah, once you have the hourly above the daily, above the weekly, above the monthly, it's pretty much over. And
Over,
yes,
dude, for an extended period of time.
I'm going to save this to show my kids one day,
6 months to a year minimum.
but I called the bottom of NVIDIA at 110, and I still have this sitting here because I want to screenshot this and, print it on my wall. That was insane. I said I'm taking calls tomorrow when NVIDIA was at 110. I sold them hella early, but either way.
October 13th, I went on Twitter, dude, and I was freaking out, and people were like, "Get fucking bent," and I'm like, "No, this is it. This is the fucking one."
Yeah.
Dude, bro, like, and I was doing like the fucking baseball shit with fucking all like Septer, Bruce, do all those fucking guys, dude. Fuck those guys. No, I shouldn't say that. Can't say that. I'm gonna keep forgetting I'm on stream. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Do you remember that morning, dude? It was like 4 a.m., 6 a.m. into 9:30, and it was a shit show. People were like crash time, like it was wild.
Oh my god, bro! I'll never ever forget that for the rest of my life. That was.
Dude, we did a stream that morning. I was screaming into the fucking TV.
That was the most legendary thing I've ever seen in my life. In my life. This is Captain James basically bought this and just proceeded to go on vacation for like a year. Not a year, like a solid month. Just literally went on vacation and just for the whole rip higher.
Tantrum, dude, like it was out of control.
Yeah.
I deleted the video because I was so embarrassed.
That was pretty freaking funny.
I still have it, but I think I might have deleted it because I was so embarrassed. I was like, I thought I'd lost control or something. You were there for that day, right?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, dude, it was out of fucking control.
Yeah.
And dude, everybody was like, even the bulls were bearish. Like every motherfucker was selling that shit.
Oh my god, everyone.
They were like, dude, everyone, banks, hedge funds, people were like, there's fucking billions spent on that shit.
Yeah.
And they got torched.
I think I'm going to take a live trade right now, by the way. If QQQ in 10 minutes closes above 370, then... Oh, I don't even have the next level above. Where is it? Gavin. QQQ closes in 10 minutes above 170. That's a nice trade higher to 377.
Yeah, trying to like give hearts and stuff to your people. You gotta like open up like the heart giving the thumbs up and all that shit. I want to say, or like, you and I, you show me your shit and I'm gonna show you some shit. Cause I've been doing this stupid shit for too long, this back end live streaming shit. Cause I want to like give thumbs up to your people and all that. I'm looking at your LPM right now. I'm watching your stream.
Oh, so let me show you here. It's right here. So this is how it works. It equals the triggers. So the blue is the daily, the green is the hourly, and the white is the 15-minute. So let's just pick a stock. Let's say we'll do GME first. So you can see here, like price moves below the blue, which is the daily, and then the hourly crosses below it, and then you have bearish price action. And then, price moves above the blue, hourly moves above it, and you have bullish price action. And it works so beautifully. It's insane. If you do Tesla,
Give me a class, man.
I will. We could have a class. I mean, Tesla was above daily LDPM since 167. Like if you just went long Tesla, you had time on your contracts. It's just literally there was never ever ever a reason to sell.
Yeah, we should.
You see this, right?
Together. So we need to do some kind of a partnership at some point.
I know.
Brad 2322 is like you guys stream all together. Like at some point you gotta let me do my stuff so that it can settle down. We have to do some kind of like fucking like maybe like once a month or every 3 months or something. We like get together and just like talk. I think it'd be super fucking cool.
Absolutely, I'd love that.
Maybe when the market's like blood fucking red or at a top or something, it'd be really cool too. And talk about our plans for the next few weeks or month.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, look, I spoke my one trade that I'm focusing the most on right now, which is ironic, but it is GME, and that's a trade that I think come September, I think we'll look back at this live stream and laugh about it. Because A, how obvious it looks now, but B, how obvious it will have looked in retrospect, and should be a big winner.
I was thinking an MA. I was thinking some kind of a merger and acquisition. It's not the season for it, but I was thinking like there's always a catalyst. Like every time Tesla's got, I tell people in the stream like, look, they're gonna have a fucking catalyst. It's like Tesla's next catalyst. You don't know this. I shouldn't say this, but their next catalyst is they've got the truck is likely being finally rolled out in like January or February.
Right.
And they keep claiming FSD, but this is going to be the claim of real FSD is coming out with that truck, not with anything else. Now, I don't believe it. I think it's going to be a scam. I think the truck's going to be a short rollout, but it doesn't matter. They'll front run that trade at the end of the year. So that's what I'm thinking about GME. Like if it goes up that high, what would be the catalyst? So they talk about it now before they feed it to people, right?
Yeah, there's got to be a catalyst.
Yeah, or why did we run up that high? Then all of a sudden the news drops, hey, there's a new merger acquisition, or I don't fucking know, I bought a gaming company, or you bought a bunch of movie theaters. I don't know what it is that catalyst is, but there has to be a catalyst that's unknown at this point.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's very smart that you said that because, people should understand that you don't really get moves up like this without a catalyst. So although this is what we think is coming, right. Right, they could front run it, absolutely. So even though we think this happens, there's got to be some kind of catalyst to really get it going. So what I'm just trying to think what it could even be for GME. If anybody has any opinions,
that's unknown to the public.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone has any opinions, you can drop it in the chat. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. But whatever, I mean.
Yeah, it could be that's a good fair point. Phil is saying the Dumb Money movie releasing could possibly trigger it.
Oh yeah, I could hear that. Possible. I could hear that. When is that?
Yeah, I thought I watched part of the trailer, and of course I'm like, that's not what is going on. Well,
yeah.
Like, part of it, yes, but
so many people sent that to me, by the way. So funny. So many of my real life friends.
I don't know if your people know this or not. So I was trading that, and I'm gonna tell you guys out there that the sheer panic. You'd watch calls go from like 10 cents to $30, and then roll back down and back up again when they would halt. And you get so panicky while you're trading it that you'd be like, oh my God, I'm gonna get left behind. So you might actually get caught in it too. You'd be like, if I don't buy $2 or $6 or $10, so you'd buy the wrong price, then would roll back down after the halt like 20 cents. You could lose $70,000 in trade. But then it would go up to $300,000 in a trade. It's my fifth largest trade I've ever taken. Look, single trades, it was the fifth largest, best trade I've ever had. It was with GME. Overall money making, I had lost a bunch of money on 2 bearish trades. I lost $200,000 or $300,000 or something, and that trade gave me that money back.
Wow.
Yeah, like GME. But that time period when the initial runs up, the options chains were, I don't even know how to describe it to you. Like, you would just see numbers flashing or rolling on the chain. I've never seen it as an as active options chain as they did during that time.
For sure. That was probably
Were you
insane.
trading that or no? Did you trade it or no?
I traded it, yeah.
Yeah. Did you just hold throughout all of it, or did you enter and exit?
At that point, I was really not that familiar with options. I'd been trading stocks for like the 4 years before that. And that was like probably my second or third month trading options. And that's how I thought like the stock, like options were. I was like,
wow.
There's no way it can be this easy. Because like you just watch yourself making the amount you used to make in a year in a couple of days. And it's like, there's no way this could be that easy. So I made a lot of money off that trade, and then I gave it all back in the coming months after that because I just thought like, oh yeah, this is normal, you know. This is normal. So
I was like, I traded through the splits on Apple and Tesla, made a bunch of money, gave all that back. I thought that was normal. I was like, we're gonna have a lot of that coming up, and of course, that wasn't true. I really stepped in some like really nice shit that I had no business stepping in, but I also traded a lot of it away with like all that bearishness, dude.
Yeah.
That killed me over the years is the too much bearishness.
So you really changed my entire life when I used to watch your streams because I was that guy. I was Mr. Permabeer, and every single day since literally all-time high, since not all-time highs, but when we were down at the bottoms, each and every bottom, I just kept saying
major bottoms, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm rolling it all into this.
And every single time we got down there, we got to one of these, I was like, yeah, it's over. Like yep. We're going straight down. And I would put on all those puts, you know, and you used to talk and stream every single day about like you're betting against the U.S. economy. Like you have to understand, being a permabear is just, there's no point, there's no fun to it. It's like you want people to just lose everything. Like you want pension funds blowing up. Like why? Like the people that get excited over crashes. Like why? It's not a nice thing. It's not so that your puts can print. Like people have to suffer through a disaster.
You know, like I have a lot of respect for Mike Barry for what he did, but the truth is, had the market not rolled down that last time, he'd be in fucking prison. You know, and the time period that he was short, he missed out on making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars for that $100 million that he made. I think it was like $100 million or something like that he made, but don't quote me on that. But I remember that, it's great as a story for the little guy. It's a great story to tell. But the truth is that for the 7 or 8 years he was short, he had not capitalized on the run higher. And had he not gotten that last roll down, he would be in fucking prison. So even that last roll down is still a very rare experience. We've only done that 3 times in history. We did it once in 1942 during World War II. We did it once during the Great Depression, and the other time was 2008. So trade, and we don't have those bank accounts. I don't have that bank account. You don't have that bank account. We can't get funding to stay liquid long enough to eventually be right. He needed that last leg down. He needed that fraud. Without that fraud, he was fucked. So you as a retail trader, it's hard for us to trade that. I think it is.
Yeah.
That last capitulation moved down to like quarterly and 6-month trends. You know, that shit's like rare. You can trade when it happens, but dude, I gotta show you some time. There's been other moments in history where we've had that moment where we could do that, and it's reversed. So like even if we are there, you have to be signaled that we're there. there was a point in the fascinating time period. I'm going to look at this right now with you. There's a fascinating time period like 2008 where in, let me see if I can do this again on a weekly. There was a fascinating time period in, is it 87 or 86? Yeah, right here. There's a 1982. Yeah, 1982. We had real risk of a 2008 crash. It was actually, I'll give you the exact date. On March 5th, 1992, we had a weekly bear plane form, but it resolved to the upside and we scrolls to the moon. And we have very rare weekly bear planes on SPX. But if you have that signal that says, we're now at high risk of a 2008 crash, they present themselves historically going back to 1895. If they resolve, they present themselves as being resolved. And so even right now, that's a great time period right there, by the way, to examine. Because that same instance in March of 1982 also presented itself in the last leg of the 2008 crash. And that one did not resolve itself. That same instance presented itself in 1942 and in 1939 as well. Sorry.
Anyways, nothing to be sorry about.
I gotta go, but look, I love you.
I love you too, man.
Appreciate it.
I really hope we can do more of these. I really do. It's so much fun to live stream with someone to talk to as opposed to, just talking.
We gotta make a once a month thing or something, man.
Once a month? I was hoping more than that.
The bottom or the top or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just check in, touch base. And,
yes.
Bounce stuff off each other because I trust you. Oh,
yeah.
If you're a viewer out there watching right now, this is one of the few people that I trust.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I want you to know that, man. That's truth. You know that too. Between that and closed doors and no restless.
Yo, by the way, just low key, you killed that trade. and I was so happy for you. I saw it and I was just so happy for you. I was like, hell yeah, he deserves it. But listen to this, man. You just made a lot of people a lot of money, but your family's waiting for you for your July 4th vacation. You should completely block out the market for now and just go and spend some amazing quality family time.
Dude, have a shot of tequila with your wife, brother.
Oh, shot at tequila? Oh, by the way, Cap, I didn't tell you this. Last night, I've been working with Gavin for a year. Last night, I met him for the first time.
Yeah, dude, did you meet up with him or what's up?
It was awesome. We met up. We went out for drinks. He brought his girl and I brought my wife and we drank so much tequila. I got so drunk. It was an amazing time.
Hilarious.
It was amazing. I can't wait when we meet one day. We're gonna meet one day, and I'm so excited.
I gotta fucking get out, dude. I was supposed to.
I'll bring all the tequila.
Earlier in the year, dude, and I just couldn't fucking stop working. So, dude, I gotta make the time and fly out there and just spend a fucking weekend.
Okay, and not just that, but at some point in time, whether it's this year, next year, whatever it is, at some point in time when we're both less busy. I want to lock us in a room for 1 year, make all of the money, and then that's it.
That's true.
Me, you, and Gavin lock ourselves in a room for 1 year and just hit trades every single day. Like if we combine what all three of us do and just trade together in a room, it'll be unbelievable. We could live stream it, but not giving alerts and giving trades, just trading on our own.
Yeah, dude.
We would do numbers. We would do numbers, Cap.
Dude.
We would. One day. We'll make it happen. We have to. All right. Yo, and listen, really, go enjoy your family time. You earned it, and you deserve it, and you know it. So.
I love you, brother. Hey, if you're watching right now, I appreciate y'all watching my man, JamesRoland. This guy is never going to steer you wrong. You found the right guy to be with. So you want all of you to have a great 4th of July. And James, brother, I will talk to you soon, my man.
All right, I love you, Cap. Have a great weekend.
Same. Bye.
All right, bye. Hey. All right, so I think basically covered everything I wanted to talk about. You guys all saw how the 4-hour close at 1 p.m. closed below this $25 level. So when that happens, we don't expect any more upside for the day. Is it possible? Yes, but more to me, it just looks unlikely. And then Monday, let's see if we can. Where was my drawing? Wasn't here. Was it here? No. Which chart was it? Unnamed? No. Oh, here it is. All right, so this is what I think we can see next week. If you guys were on when we did this, you could see how well that tracked. Who was on here when we did this? We did this a while. We did this when Price was here, but were any of you guys on here? If you were, let me know in the chat. But yeah, tracking really well so far. Again, I'm not a bars pattern person, but this has been working for us really well. This is just, ETC overlaid, so nothing crazy. And then let's see if it's either going to be Monday or Wednesday we get that ripper higher. So it makes sense to me Wednesday right out of the gate after the holiday, and then Monday, the fiddlin was here. Tony was there. Yeah, so guys, I mean, this looks like it's working. Again, really not a chart pattern guy. I don't do this. I work based off my analysis, but all that is just copy and paste ETC in the chart. And look, it works pretty well. So let's see if Monday we get this bounce higher. And then, if we do get this bounce higher Monday, I'll be really excited the whole July 4th weekend. And then hopefully next week, all of you guys that have been following the meme stock watch reports, you guys know how hard we've been working on this GME play. Like, this hasn't been, luck or anything, or just a wild bet or a gamble. This has been filled with, a huge built-up thesis in combination with many, many tools and data points, many videos trying to give over the entire move. We even had this all the way back here at 25. We knew we were coming down, going to form the airplane. You guys could see how we did form that airplane beautifully. Like this airplane, the hourly trigger and the daily trigger, that led to this nice upside spike. This was forecasted way back and beyond, all the way June 18th. We had the double down area at the low 23 level. Gavin, forecasted also, even when price was up here, we're going down here, followed by upside. We've really been putting in a lot of work into this thesis. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But as far as I'm concerned, everything is lining up to perfection. And where did all the images here go? Oh, they got deleted when we did the update. Yeah, see, this was literally when price is all the way up here, we always had that pullback coming for wave 2 before this move higher. So if I zoom in here, we had price, topping about here, pulling back. This has been tracking for so long, honestly. So I hope over the next couple of weeks that we'll be able to see it come to fruition. It's really insane how much we put into this thesis, but it just really lines up, man. It really looks good. So let's see if we get something like this. My position is I have my main position, my core position is in the September 30 calls that I don't plan on selling at all. I think by September, my game plan, my thesis, that they'll be well in the money. And then I have a batch of July 21st, $28 calls, which I sell in and out of on spikes. So yesterday I sold half, and I plan on adding back for 100% profit. I bought them over here on the successful airplane, sold them up here for 100%. I added some back today, but I also want to add back the rest on Monday if this continues tracking. I also, I think Monday morning there's going to be a great opportunity for weekly calls, but as a gamble, not major position. So what I like to do is I like to take longer dated calls and then trade in and out of my shorter dated calls. Because if I only take longer dated calls, then the entire time I'm like, oh, do I sell? Do I trim? Like if I trim, what if it keeps going? If I have shorter dated calls, I know that I could trade in and out of them, no problem, secure profit on the way up, and just not touch my longer dated calls and not sell early and regret it later. So that's something, that's part of the strategy that we'll teach in the boot camp, of course, on July 14th. Very much looking forward to be able to give over every single thing that we've done over the past couple of years that, that's been narrowed down into a system that we do believe works very well. So Monday, I plan on adding some weekly calls, and then, if this move happens, I'm going to trim them. I'm going to add like the 27 weeklies. I already bought 10 for like a $300 position, but I do think we're going to see this move on Wednesday. I really do. I'm hopeful. I'm not ultra confident because, the thesis that we made doesn't have to do with the ETC and isn't exactly based on it at all. It's just a nice confluence. And, while this is tracking, I don't mind risking the amount of money I would on a betting on a basketball game on FanDuel or DraftKings on, weekly GME calls when everything looks right. So Monday, I will almost for sure, especially if we get this move higher, I'll put a gamble trade on GME weekly calls, and we'll see if it hits. If it hits, I could sell them and then, pay for my entire July, September position and then, be in it risk-free for the next couple of months, and that would take away a lot of the stress. Christopher says, awesome job, James. I've never paid for a service for trading for, but glad I signed up to MSW. Been learning lots. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Listen, it takes me about 6 hours to do the reports every night. So I'll tell you this much, it's a lot of work, and take this very seriously. So, we don't just put out a report. I have to analyze all of the data points for, hours, ask questions to, Justin, Conway. It's not easy to do these, guys, I promise. And, try to, write my theses, explain how I interpret the data. Not always going to be right, but they will always be informative, and you'll always be able to learn. You guys want to look at Tilray? We could look at Tilray. Let's see. I am expecting a big upside move on Tilray soon. Now, again, the triggers are all stacked bearishly, so you guys could see monthly is on top of the weekly, on top of the daily, on top of the hourly. That's the worst trigger orientation. But, a stock has got to bottom eventually, and I do think Tilray is near a significant bottom now. I don't have a position yet, but I'm probably going to take one at some point. Let's see. I could show you guys something cool. A little bit of teaching here in a second. Let's clean up this chart. All right, so we go to the daily velocity, and you guys see how price is now making new lows, but daily velocity is repairing. So when you see this, it's telling you that, people with pockets, people with deep pockets are buying this dip while retail traders are getting scared out. In reality,